Let's put 2 cups of tur dal. Now I'm just going to soak it in some water, wash it till the water runs clear. Now the dal is washed, I'm going to let it soak in there for an hour and then I'm going to get cooking. Alright, so now I'm going to add the dal and we're going to add some salt and some haldi. I'm going to add some salt, about 2 teaspoons. And I'm going to add some turmeric, haldi. It's about 1.5 teaspoons. Here I have peeled and cut 3 potatoes. I've just cut it in half so I have a bigger piece of potato. Now we're going to fry this up. Now I'm going to pop this in some oil and let that cook. Here there are 3 cups of rice that has been washed and I'm just going to set it aside till I'm ready to make it. So now the potatoes have a skin on them. See how that's gotten a little bit darker? I'm just going to pop that into a plate and set it aside. In that same oil, we're going to fry our onions. So now the onions are slightly golden brown and pinkish. And now I'm just going to add all these dry spices to it and some green chili and let that cook. Here are my green chilies. We're going to give that a nice stir and let that cook and let the flavors marry. To that, I'm going to add my ginger, garlic, and green chilies. And we're going to let that cook again for a couple of minutes. Now I'm just going to add some crushed tomatoes. I just chop them up really fine, or you can use a can of crushed tomatoes too. I'm going to give that a good mix and let that cook down. Now that the tomatoes are cooked down and the oil has come to the top, we're going to add all the rest of the spices. Now we're going to add our dal. That's somewhat dry but not too dry. We're going to add that on there. Now we're just going to gently incorporate it together. We don't want it to become mushy. We still want to have a grain to the lentil. We're going to mix that really well. I'm going to put some cilantro and I'm going to fold in my potatoes. We're going to fold in our potatoes. They're 90% done, so they're going to cook with the rice now. So in the water that was left behind from the lentils, from the dal, I blended it with an immersion blender. And I am now just putting my spices in there. Gonna let that cook. So now for this you can either use fresh tamarind, but I kind of like the concentrate, it's easier. I'm just gonna put a tablespoon or so of it. I like it cut up and I'm gonna let that cook. Now we're just gonna make our tarka. We're just gonna pour our tarka. We're just gonna put some cilantro and let that cook for a couple of minutes and then turn it off. Here I'm just boiling some eggs. I always put salt in my water so it's easy to peel the eggs. I'm going to boil them for 7 minutes and then put them in an ice bath, and that'll make it really easy to peel them. My rice is ready and I'm just going to layer it on top, and then we're going to put some saffron and milk and pour that on top. Alright, so I've layered my rice and now I've put some saffron and some milk and I let that steep, and then we're going to pour that over. And we're going to layer it with a little few lemon slices and some cilantro. And we're going to cover it and let that cook. And now we're going to place the eggs, like hidden treasure, up there. We'll put some flat side up, some yolk side down, and then we're going to give it dum. Alright guys, let's see how this looks. Oh my goodness, it looks amazing. It smells so good.